The current environment, and maybe I will finish on that, is really forcing us to be smarter about how to synchronize demand and supply. One size fits all is definitely not, the way to go. As a first, let's say, element is to forecast. So we try to forecast demand, and then we use this, as the traditional planning approach. We use that information to compute, right? To compute, but also to synchronize all the activities that will have to take place to make sure that we can meet, the demand at the right time for the right customer. Then the question would be, well, yes, but technology can help us. Yes, I guess in some extent technology can help us, but technology is also a factor in itself that will increase, this volatility and variability. What do we want to synchronize? What kind of information do we need to look at to do a good job in different ranges? I call them 11 ranges,
right.
Which is very important.
If you walk along the supply chain up or downstream, dreaming of synchronization is found mostly at what is called focal companies. Those that kind of bring the tact into the supply chain. If you walk up 2 or 3 tiers to the suppliers, kind of enforcing synchronization is not what they dream of. They would be happy to have a rough understanding of any demand plan, which is kind of confirmed. The vision of a synchronized demand and supply pattern is one of those companies that probably count themselves to focal companies, those that are the bigger players with the power and the interest to better synchronize on their demand and their supply side.
So for a supply system, there are only 3 dimensions. This is through inventory and stock position. And then we go to all the arguments and discussion about decoupling points. So where to put them.
I wanted to bring it up, decoupling points, exactly. Yeah.
Then the second dimension would be capacity, right? And the third dimension, when you can buffer your supply system, will be time.
In other words, if you have designed the supply chain according to a very tight optimization of OEE, for example, you're limited in your synchronization opportunities, right? And I think right now also what I see from, if I just touch the side of software and technology, most of what we see, at least what I saw, is happening on the synchronization, and the transparency is actually looking at the transactional level of synchronization.
So what we have to make sure is to develop the right capabilities to be run in operation. So and then you need to do analysis based on forecast. This is where forecast can help, because based on forecast you can set up, you can develop, as you say, the right network, make sure that you have the right, let's say, capacity level. Now, if the capacity is going to be used or not in operation, that's going to be driven by the actual signal that you will get.
No one would design a supply chain for a big launch product at kind of worst case scenario. Yeah. What you build in, because any ramp up of the capacity, in other words, to better synchronize eventually demand supply, really would take another 2 years maybe. Yeah. And therefore the synchronization of demand and supply in uncertain times really goes back to how well you have managed in the first place the layout, the capacity, the geographic spread of your supply chain, as you said, Mark.
I think it will be much more robust to organize a flow-based operating model. So what does that mean? It means that when you run operation, I'm not talking about tactical and strategic, really running operation. When you run operation, what you should focus on is the flow, right? And to synchronize and keep that flow constant. And for that, the focus should be, as I mentioned, it should be stability, velocity, reliability.
Everything that we typically talk about in synchronization is fine as long as you talk about routine demand and supply. As soon as you already sit in a constraint, in a crisis situation, technical defaults, the yield going down and whatever it is, or disruption of supply, as we've been through it, like now disruption of demand, how to get back to synchronized supply chains is probably right now, even for quite a number of industries, even more interesting. I'd like to thank everyone. Mark, thanks for jamming. I guess we will continue this one. I hope so. And talk
Sure.
about demand and supply synchronization again. Looking forward to see you all again in one of our next sessions. Very likely, we plan for another take on supply chain Asia, what to expect, also with Vicky Ko right now on online, a partner in Hong Kong. The latest developments there ask for another take, and we guess in about 2 weeks' time we'll do another session on that one. Hope to see you soon again. Stay tuned, and cheers. Stay safe. Thanks a lot.
Bye bye everyone. Bye bye. Thank you much.
Thank you.